Hey guys, Frank the Handyman here. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install a brand new window well like the one you see right here. This is how everything looked like before, and this is how everything turned out once we installed everything. Please stay tuned and continue watching until the end, so that way you don't miss out on any details of how we were able to do all of this. If you want to learn how to do all kinds of handyman DIY projects, including home renovations, then you're in the best place here on YouTube. Consider subscribing to our channel and activate the notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any videos that we'll be uploading every single week. This is an existing window well that the customer has alongside where we're going to be installing the new one. This is where we will put the new one, and we basically already marked with some spray paint the square that we're gonna have to dig it by hand. We're just using a couple shovels. The nice thing about the soil is it wasn't super hard or difficult. It's just mainly, digging it by hand. Now, the window well that we're gonna be installing, it is approximately 4 feet tall by 3 feet deep. It's the white one that you see right there on the top of the screen. All of the dirt that we're taking out, we're basically just spreading it along the yard. And once we were digging, we found like a metal material here in the back corner of the hole. And once we start digging a little further down, we noticed that it was like a oil tank. The nice thing about that is that it was already decommissioned. The only problem is that it's right in between where we have to put in the new well. And the excess dirt, we're kind of spreading it around next to the hole, and we're just kind of grading it, so we're just getting it as close as possible. Now this old tank, the best way to get rid of this is we're just using a reciprocal saw, and I put in a special blade for metal, and we're just cutting all around the perimeter alongside the dirt so we can basically remove a section of it. The rest is just gonna stay there in place. And once we took out this corner, we noticed that in the inside it had already been pre-filled with some pea gravel, so that's gonna definitely come in handy, so we can use some of that for the bottom drainage. And over here next to the foundation, we noticed that it's kind of sticking out several inches, and we have like a Bosch jackhammer that we're using. It's a smaller one, and we're just basically chipping all of that out, removing this little window and the trim and all that. We're gonna clean all this area as best as possible, so we're gonna start making the marks of where we're gonna be cutting this foundation. The reason why we're doing all of this is our customer, he's gonna be having like a bedroom here on the basement, and so they're required to have a window well, so in case of an emergency, the tenants or whoever's down there, they can have a emergency exit. So we're removing all of this trim and the old window. Then from the upper plate, we're measuring down enough, whatever's needed for the window. And we also accounted for pressure treated 2x6s. We're going to be putting the pressure treated all around the perimeter for the frame. And we put on these temporary boards. We're just nailing them in. It's going to be like our guide, so we can cut it as straight as possible. And in order for us to do this, we have this hydraulic pack P13. I went to my local rental store, and they had this available. It's basically a chainsaw it's specially designed to cut concrete. I also got the concrete blade. All of this cost me $300. They basically charge $100 for the chainsaw rental for 1 day, and then I had to spend an extra $200 for the chain itself, which it's good for about 30 to 50 lineal feet of cutting. So it definitely came in handy, like you see right here. In order to make a saw cut for a window well or a door, this is the best method to do so, because you can cut a straight, clean line from one end all the way to the other. The nice thing about this unit is it has the water hookup attachment. You basically just connect the hose. It's hydraulic as well. So as you're cutting, it's releasing quite a bit of water. Now, we decided to cut the bottom all the way through first, and then we're gonna cut the sides, especially for all, this is quite a bit of concrete section that we're gonna be taking out of the foundation. We don't want, we don't want to cut the sides first and then all of that to fall down on the blade as it's cutting. So that's why we already cut the bottom. Then we're gonna cut the right side, and from there we're gonna move on to the left. But since it's quite a bit of water, my dad, he had already, he got himself quite a bit wet. So we definitely recommend for you to have like some overalls or waterproof pants. It's gonna help you out quite a bit. So we already made the right side cut. Then on this side we cut a little bit, and from there you'll see one of my other helpers, he started banging on the concrete with a sledgehammer, and we were able to break off a section. Then from here, this is quite thick. It kind of bulges out a little more, so we decided to cut down a little further to where we kind of go beyond that thicker concrete area, and then we started to bang on it even more. And once we did that, we noticed that the concrete, it comes out pretty easily in sections. It just takes quite a bit of effort, banging on the concrete and just, breaking it little by little. This is the best way to do it, especially if you got to remove quite a bit of concrete like us right here. Then we cut all the way to the bottom on the left, and now we have the entire opening, and there it is, a nice clean cut all the way through. One thing that I definitely recommend for you to keep in mind is check your local building codes, because for a window well, some places they require from the inside floor, you need the window to be at a certain minimum height, from the bottom of the window. So in our case, it's 44 inches from the ground up. So we had to make sure to account for that to cut the opening at the proper, length. And then the width, you just got to measure the width of the window, and then just add the thickness for the 2x4s. And then that will give you the whole opening square. And so then at the top over here, we're basically just we're gonna be attaching a 2x6 plate on the existing framing of the house, and then on the square, for the whole frame of the window, we're gonna have pressure treated 2x6s, and we definitely want to do it that way. Since this is going to be on the exterior, it's going to be exposed to the weather and the conditions, so you want to make sure to use the material that will last the longest. And then we're also going to be putting the proper waterproofing material all around it. So once we had the whole frame set up, we put the window there temporarily to make sure, and we noticed that it was a little bit out of level, so we had to make a little bit of adjustments to the frame. Then once we did that, we're able to present the window once again into the framing, and then we were able to put it in there with a little bit of effort, and now it has a nice perfect fit all the way around. And all we need to do is screw in all of the perimeter framing to the pressure treated, and then we're adding some waterproofing flashing all around on the top and the sides and the bottom to cover up all of that edge. On the very top, we're using the same existing metal flashing that the old window had, and right underneath that we're putting in the trim, and we're just going to be nailing that to the framing. Over here on the right side, we had to cut a little bit of the siding just so we can fit this trim. It's 3.5 inches thick on both sides, and then on the top I had to use a 6-inch thick trim, because we had to move the window down a little more than before, so we had to cover up that gap with a 6-inch trim. But that's pretty much it. You know, on the inside we just added foam to cover up the gaps, and we put some silicone. We put caulking, you know, all around the perimeter. Over here in the bottom we have a good thickness of peat gravel, so any water that goes in there, you know, it's gonna kind of like filter through there. And we basically put in the whole window, the well, and it opens up on the inside, so this creates a safe and secure emergency exit for anyone that's going to be living down there in the basement. And that's pretty much a step-by-step process of how you can put in a brand new window well into the concrete. And so I hope you like this video. Please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and activate the notification bell, so that way you don't miss out on any videos that we'll be uploading every single week. In the description of this video, I'm going to be leaving some links to materials and tools that we recommend for this kind of project. Definitely check those out. Thanks for watching until the end. May God bless you, and we'll see you on the next project.